Well, that was not bad at all. That is precisely what we needed. Look, I'm not going to proclaim that that was the greatest performance of all time or that Viborg were the greatest team, but sometimes you just need something. In fact, I think what Viborg were the right team at the right time, bearing in mind the start to our season. Got a lot of positives to take from that. I think I dealt with some of the negatives, or any of the negatives, in the review that I did with Gio. And now a lot of the positives. Perfect for Ogbonna. Absolutely perfect. You couldn't have arranged an under-23 fixture. Well, you can't anyway, so we're under 21 now. But you couldn't have arranged a reserve team fixture that would have served him better than what we saw yesterday. Because what you got yesterday was a competitive match. A really competitive match. But where the quality was maybe a little bit lower, so as he could get through. He was tested. I mean, Gio made the point in the review. Viborg striker was a very, very good player indeed. That's not a very good player. What am I talking about? Scrap that. But he was very competitive. And it was, I just thought it was, the test was exactly right for Ogbonna. And to get him off after 60-odd minutes, absolutely brilliant. I made the point as well in the review. I think had he stayed on, he'd have been at that back post because that's his position. I think he would have headed it away where the guy came in, got the jump on Souček. Anyway, let's not worry about that goal coming in. That's really good news. I also want a little word on Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson doesn't have to play at centre-half anymore. I hope, fingers crossed, touch wood and all that sort of stuff. However, and that's a good thing. However, that would have done him the world of good to play there for the 3 games. I'm not sure it did West Ham the world of good, but he was the one that was able to play there. Moyes chose to play him there. Moyes played him there. And I'm really pleased with, not with how he's done, because he has been at fault for, the 3 goals that we conceded in the league. But that learning that position of centre-half will certainly improve his play elsewhere on the pitch. He's just going to be such an important utility player for us as well. And in fact, as Gio was absolutely right that Soufal got better as the game went on. He really did. But it's still a hindrance not being able to play the ball with your left foot there. So, and that's one thing, even though Johnson is right-footed, if he plays on the left, he can play the ball with his left foot. That being said, I think it did highlight why we do definitely still need to bring in a left back. Because I was actually buoyed by the squad. Now, I know it's not a big squad, but actually, to see David Moyes using players, dipping into the bench and using the players that were on there, and for the players to come off the bench to be comparable in standard to the guys that were on the pitch, really good. Not used to that at all. And I think if we could get that sort of competition for places going at left back as well, that's going to help massively. Absolutely massively. We talk about competition for places here. I think the competition for places was in no better example than the left winger. But I thought Cornet played superbly. Really, really good. Had to play one hand behind his back because there wasn't that regular supply line from the left-footed player on the left. I'll tell you what I did really like. I liked when Ogbonna, just going back to Ogbonna, so I'm a bit skittish and jumping around here. Having the left-footed centre-back there, I think, was really good. That was nice. But anyway, so Cornet played really well. It can't be any coincidence with Ben Rama, and I'm going to feature. I'm not going to talk about Ben Rama much today. Ben Rama's going to get talked about a lot tomorrow. I'm going to talk about Ben Rama tomorrow. But I don't think it's any coincidence that with the competition for places, that Ben Rama sort of upped his game on there. And anyway, so we'll talk about Ben Rama tomorrow. But suffice to say, very, very impressed with him at the moment. But Cornet was great. Really good. Again, very direct. He's only going to get better. You can just tell he's fitted into the team really well. And as a front three, actually, I liked that. I liked starting with Cornet. I like starting with Scamacca. I like starting with Bowen. That's not how I think we should start with Brighton, by the way. But I liked it. In this game, I thought it was a nice, potent attack, a nice, potent strike force, if you like. And, of course, they were all involved. In many respects, if I could have chosen 3 goal scorers for that game, it would have actually been Scamacca, Bowen and Antonio, just because I want all of them to sort of get going and get firing this season. In terms of Scamacca, as I may have mentioned, I thought we lost the ball quite easily at the start of the game. But a little insight into what we've bought there, a real target man who's going to cause absolute havoc from set pieces. It's another guy, well, not just set pieces, from crosses or, from anywhere really. He's got really good physical attributes about him, but the leap that he's got, he can jump. He's 6'5" anyway, and he can jump, and he can get power on the header. He's going to be a pain in the arse. And they already had their work cut out. We've got a lot of big guys. When everyone's fit, if we, particularly if we sign this Vanaken as well, I mean, it's going to be a real problem for people. We need to. I'd like to see us being a little bit better with delivery on corners. I don't think we've got to find someone a little bit better for that anyway. But yeah, I think we'll score a lot of corners this season. Let's put it that way. But anyway, I'm really pleased to see Cornet assist Scamacca for the goal. And David Moyes is going to be absolutely delighted with that as well. I only mentioned him for a couple of seconds in the review. That's Harrison Ashby. I'm really impressed with him. I really am. I think he looks like a player. He looks. I mentioned it before. I mentioned it when I saw him in pre-season. I've mentioned it. I've done videos on Harrison Ashby before, as you know, if you're a regular watcher of the channel. Every time I see him, he plays like Harrison Ashby, and I'm not surprised by him. But it's nice. Sometimes you get a little view of a player and you think he'll do well, and it don't always work out. I've seen plenty that haven't. I thought they'll do well, and they haven't really. But every time I see him play, it sort of confirms what I think, which is that he's going to be a really good player. And I think I can't remember what I said in the video. I said I wouldn't be surprised if Harrison Ashby plays sort of 10, 15 games this season. I think he will, and I think he'll do West Ham proud in it. I really do. He's going to get better with each and every game, so it's really nice. I was really pleased actually from that part of it as well to have a couple of guys from the academy on the pitch in terms of Coventry and Harrison Ashby there as well. It's funny. I mean, it's a mark of how much I think Ben Johnson has come along in the last couple of years. I almost just then didn't consider him to be, but of course he is. So, look, 3 academy prospects come through the academy on the pitch there. Coventry got... I felt a bit sorry for him. The midfield wasn't functional. Souček is not the partner that Coventry needs next to him there. I felt he could have helped himself a little bit, though. Too much he goes for the safe pass. I think sometimes you could play the pass between the two opposition players and just trust your teammate. Trust that the recipient is going to take the ball and be comfortable with it. And I think that's something he can certainly improve on. That being said, he is generally neat and tidy, but he plays it safe. I'd like to see him expand his passing range. There was a couple of opportunities to switch play, which he didn't take. When I mean, particularly, there was a couple of times when Bowen was screaming for it on the touchline. It could have been switched up there. I think it felt he could have certainly looked for Harrison Ashby on a couple of occasions with a slightly longer pass, but he tends to play a shorter, safer, backwards pass. So pleased with Areola, by the way. Particularly the way he's coming off the line, his reading of the game, absolutely amazing. Actually, some of the. Did you see it when he came out and he stooped and he got the little header? But it almost plays as a sweeper there, so that's going to be really interesting. Brings a different dynamic to the team. But look, you cannot drop Fabianski after the way he played against Nottingham Forest. That much is for sure. And then of course we've got Keira, who came on as a substitute. He looked really good. Yes, look, he did the pass to Benrahma. That was really good. But I felt that was the highlight reel thing. There was actually one thing I was really impressed with, where he was on the right-hand side. He was almost in right-back position himself, but he just chased back, won the ball. Something I used to say about Rice. Some people win the ball and come away with the ball. It's something Rice does really well. Some people sort of win the ball, they do a tackle and it ricochets off and it becomes a 50-50 second ball for somebody. He tracked back, nicked it off the player, won the tackle, won the ball and came away with the ball and then distributed it quickly. He's going to be a really interesting player to watch. I don't know where he's going to play, but apparently he's very versatile and you can see that. I was also really impressed when, I haven't spoken about him actually since he did his interview. His English is superb. I mean, these people, honestly, it's these people. So he can speak German, he can speak French, and he speaks English. And his English is excellent. And apparently, he's even better at speaking French. My words, honestly. It puts me to shame. It really does. So, yeah, I mean, clearly a very, intelligent, bright guy. And you can see it on the pitch. So, that's a really good signing. Very pleased with that signing. And David Moyes has said, you live or die by your signing. So for David Moyes to have that guy they come in and substitute him on in place of Well is really good for him. For Areola to play well is good, and he needs it, bearing in mind what's happened with Kral and Vlasic. And as for Scamacca to score and Cornet, he must have been a bit chuffed. He don't give a lot away, David Moyes, sort of, with his dour sort of demeanour. If I'd have done that, if I'd have signed those two players and had a combined to score the first goal, I'd have been chuffed. I would have done it. I think, yeah, hello, look at that. Not bad, eh? Not bad. He's got to be very, very pleased with that. And, and you've got to think, because they look good, it was difficult. Can't really talk about Downs because he had an injury and he came on very late. But, because Scamacca looks like he's fitted in, he's scored already. Cornet looks good. Areola, Tyler O'Kara there, they look good. You have to assume that probably Agurd is a good player as well. Well, I do anyway. And the brief bit I saw him at Reading, he looks really good. So I'm confident. I'm hopeful. Certainly, actually, probably more hopeful than confident. But I'm very hopeful, actually, that we seem to have got some good players in. And I think if we can add another two, a left back and another midfielder, then that's going to be really important. There's going to be a lot of time still to talk about transfers, so I'm not going to talk about that too much now. But both those positions, left back and midfield, I really do think, particularly if David Moyes is going to use them, it's not just about having a big squad, because even then, if we got those, it won't be a big squad. But it's a squad of players that David Moyes wants to use. And to see the substitutions that were made, particularly when Antonio and Benrahma came on, that was really good. I really did. I was really pleased to see that. It was, very, very, very useful. Obviously, he did the early one, Fornals for Lanzini. And you know what? Really good for Fornals. So, a lot of people in the chat very, sort of unhappy with Lanzini there. And Lanzini didn't play well, but what I take from that more is the positive, in as much because I think Fornals has been terrible in the last two games. The first two games, really bad. But you know what? Really good, really good. So that's what I need him to see. He plays bad against Manchester City, plays bad against Nottingham Forest, to see him up his game. And it wasn't like he just came on and played well. He bossed it. He was the boss. Fornals came on the pitch and he was the boss. He's like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to dictate the tempo of play. And look, I see Fornals do a lot of good stuff. I don't often see him dictate the tempo. So that was a really good thing to see. But you know what? A really good thing and a byproduct, and I'll probably finish on this point. There's many good reasons that we needed to sign a left winger. And I've already said that, Cornet being in there will give us that left winger, but also probably bring the best out of Benrahma on the left wing. But the byproduct, and something that probably has done, is probably stopped Fornals ever having to play on that left wing. I say ever, I shouldn't say ever. But, because he will play there, he will. But it means Fornals probably not going to play left wing. And that is going to allow Fornals' career, I hope, to flourish a little bit more and play centrally, where, he's just better suited to it, really, isn't he? Anyway, all in all, good day, good game, good game, good evening, good evening, goodbye, and all the rest of it. Really, really, a lot more hopeful for the game against Brighton now. And you know what? At the very least, David Moyes got some decisions to make.